Hey, welcome back to another Adventures in Game Design with, I guess, Stephen Perkins. Well, I had to take down my other, my other grass shader video because, like I said, I don't do Unity enough service, enough justice. I'll always go untethered, untracked. Well, it's not planned. It's not pre-planned or anything. I go by this is all on the fly. Like so, everything's raw. It's not rehearsed. Nothing. So, and then I don't do no editing. I make sure I watch what I say and like, I try not to say too much because I said, there's people that don't want to hear me talking, and I'm like, I don't try to talk too much. So I'm that person that talks normally, but you can't be afraid to do things out there and like, you can't be afraid of people if you know you didn't, if you know you're in the right. At least like, I think I know I'm in like 90% in the right. Because I try to swear I try to stay with my life. I try to stay 90% right. I try to do right or not do nothing at all. And so, and I keep it that way. It keeps it safe. Like I'm black and not saying it's a thing to go in. I'm one of the people that go, black crazy about everything or anything like that. It's just the fact that like I'm always constantly reminded, don't you know you're black? So that's why I say that, not because I don't know, and then I know I'm black. I've been knowing I'm black, and everybody keeps repeating it to me all my life. So like, and I'm like, okay, so all right, like I'm in my 40s now. I don't, even with this, I'm not trying to get rich off this. Anyway, this is not bragging or trying to be better than anybody. Go for goat status. I'm going for money. Like even if I can make like, if I can stand to make sell a build, if I can sell this build for like 20 grand or 10 grand to somebody out to a developer or publisher outright and have so they can take it and have somebody else develop it and put it up, fine by me. Like it's pretty much, it's most of the way there. It's got one enemy character and it's got all the concept art already put together and it looks like this. I mean, and it doesn't have it runs at 30 frames right now, but that's with post processing. And then like I got this is it is rendering everything, and then you're talking about it's got all these grass blades, different types of shrubs, different types of rocks, different types of things on the ground, different types of plants. Then it's got these fields of these things, and you run through them. But I mean, only thing I don't have is the a reaction set to like where in part the vertex, like where the character would there'll be this had to add a little bit more functionality to the shader, but like a lot of stuff you watch in video games, they don't really interact with. It's not too much, really. There's not too much really interaction with that. It's really about the gameplay, the looks of the gameplay. And like I'm still getting, like I said, 30 some frames per second. But that's really with the volumetric lighting. That's getting that. I take the volumetric lighting off. It's my directional light. Disable volumetrics. It makes a difference though, because you'll see the difference in the looks and why I want volumetrics on. So uh, sky fog volume, take the fog off. Oh, there you go. Volumetric fog, bam. and you'll see the difference, like a lot want it on. See that there's my atmosphere with it. I mean, it's still, I mean, the play, it still looks good. And now I'm definitely getting my 30 frames per second. You know, I'm definitely getting my 30 frames per second, and it's above it's hitting at 35, and that's with all this stuff going on. And that's with a 1650 a GTX 1650. But like, I won't. You see the difference that fog makes. Like, it makes a huge difference. And then there's flight motion. I just don't have it. In the shader, I gotta go. I gotta, like I said, when I do the environment shader, that got I said the only reason why that environment looked like that is because, and the only reason why I had the grass like that in the other shader in that other version, because I know this is like the fifth or sixth incarnation of this game that I keep on going and going back to and making. But like it's we, they keep on updating stuff, and then they start doing entities. It's like, oh man, yeah, do entities, and it works. That stuff that made entities out of grass patches and entities. But like it's the same thing as somebody I saw a lecture some guy was doing on as he was supposed to present this year at Unite, but he didn't. But he did like a side video on his own about arrays and 4x4 matrices and put those arrays into 4x4 matrices and then have them like render out and how much faster you can almost get the same functionality that way as an entity by just knowing where stuff goes in memory and calling it, putting it back into the memory where say it's probably going out of, but it's not going and making it's searching the same. Basically, it has to go back and search the same spots that's already on the CPU and put those back in it, and it's accessing those spots that's already there and already loaded and not in RAM. That's what I got from the whole entity, the whole spiel he put on. It was awesome. Writing the code out myself and going out to do that myself after like going after like to do it with the objects I want to do it with, and it's something you do with grass, but like it would be something that would work with something like that with grass, and like you got the motion and you got all the functionality, and it's not putting any extra. You got a vertex motion, and it's all doing it through without being an entity. But the only reason why I had that like that, the only reason why I was using that like that was because of the fact that the grass system, HDRP didn't used to have a grass system. Like for a long time, you go to HDRP and it didn't have a shader for the grass. You can only use your what the universal render pipeline for and like whatever below that, it had a shader for it. It worked. It didn't have a shader for HDRP. If you made a shader for HDRP, it's like but like you know that it's gonna be, and it's something to do with its its calling system type of LOD system that it has for terrain. And so there ain't nobody better than gonna write one better than Unity to make one. So I was using the only reason why I even had that shader was for just because the fact that I couldn't use the I couldn't use that grass shader or use there was their grass and that, but now they got it the system that's set up right, and you can use it's your the terrain actually works better, and like you can actually use there's no error or no issues with the grass. But like it's like I said, go back to that real quick because I'll show it. I said, I didn't even really. You got your paint your trees. You paint your detail shader. That was the one. It was the detail shader. This is the detail shader here. Paint details. So these are. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 different 11 different things going on the ground. So then, but I and then that was the detail shader that you didn't have. You couldn't use it like because when you paint details, depending on the distance, you can set the distance of where, like in the editor, in the options, tree and detail objects to draw, make, remove white probes, preserve tree prototypes, detail distance, detail scale, tree distance, billboarding, start, fade. All these are the options that if you have a detailed shader, then you can actually use the details. But you couldn't do that in the other in they only had it for URP. The HDRP it wouldn't work for. Now they had it for HDRP. So now I don't have to. And I've always been ever since HDRP came out. I've been like, damn, that's definitely what I'm going for. You know, we'll try it out because like I tried to figure out for a phone. It was like the game's a little too big for a phone. You got to think of some little small idea. When it comes to phone games, you got to think of something that's small and something that's quick, like Tetris, like something like that stuff involves definitely getting patents and trademarks and copyrights and like I mean you gotta do that with this too, but like to own a patent on a game and then gameplay on a certain type of deal, and then you have to worry about when you make games like that. But those are the games that people play on phones, and they're highly addictive. They keep on playing them and they go back and play them again. But I mean, think about Tetris. In the movie, I saw the movie about that. Like, man, they went nuts over it. And there were so many things that there's things you just do you don't know you run into. That's why, like, I do that. Like, I know I get like, I get paranoid about being monitored and everybody, everybody's getting monitored in some way or whatever. But like, it's just one of those things. But like, you couldn't this material right here, the HD, you didn't have the HD default HD terrain material. You gotta come up with one of your own, and but still, it was like I don't think it still wouldn't act. It still I could never get it to act right. So that's why they got that shader there, and I would use the entities instead of using the terrain. And it looks like that's why I'm gonna end up taking that video down because like it's confusing if I don't explain all that. Like I said, I kind of make Unity look bad because, like, man, it's easier than that. You get if I'm using HDRP, I'm always using HDRP. It's not, and then anybody knows they use HDRP and they use, oh yeah, you can't. There's no detail shader for that. So but like, without that detail shader and how it actually functions with the calling, how the distance calling and everything else, and the billboarding, and then the LODs on the tree. These are all my own custom trees, my own handmade trees. That still I got to work with the system. It's not it's got an LOD system, but like I didn't there, and I'm still working on an LOD system. I'm still working on the trees being because like there's still a lot of geometry on the trees that I can cut down. But I wanted to try to like get as much detail. I wanted to get that spiral out of it and get that into the silhouette of the trees. So to capture that detail, have a little bit more. Capture that detail, have a little bit more. I got a little bit more, polygons on it. I wanted to get that spiral, the spiral look of the trees. But like I said, it's still like it's still and I could do some blending vertex like color blending with the ground or with the ground or the shader. But I think it's still you throw once I throw the volumetric lighting back on, or volumetric fog back on. That's good enough that when I get it populated with enemies, it's it's gonna look awesome. But like that's how because I want to come up out of distance. This one guy got it's the same character I had on all of them. I only got the weapon set on here for this guy yet. Like I don't even know if I got shield anymore. I got shield, but I gotta. But then that was a real good nighttime with that type of deal going on. Then it's I got to change. I got to change some things with the weapon. But like I said, it's the same guys I had running around. Like I believe when I got this onto the phone, but I was like, man, it's still too much texturing. You can't get on the phone back then. That was like 2020, and I didn't have like a top of the line phone or iPhone to try to test it out on. So I was here it goes. And he spits on me. I don't got his textures on. And then I really don't have the and it's not like it's hard for me to set it up or do anything to have it set up to see those things to try to fool you, get you looking for these guys. But the looks there, the looks and everything is there. I can make the grass sway a little bit more, but there's ooh, what did I do that for? Okay, I didn't know I could do that. I have to learn something new every day. I can double click that up there, but like the environment shader, I just got to turn this up a little bit to get more sway out of the I forget which one's which. One's probably too much, but it's still gonna be. Okay, give us down there. That's it. I'm about to frame draw. It's like I said, sometimes my computer starts acting funny, and now it shouldn't be down to 18.5. That's why I think I'm getting monitored. But like it might be because of screencasting. It might be because of that. But there's more sway now. No, it's not because it's a shader. Maybe if I got the shader, maybe off. There it goes. It's more sway out of it. Get a little more sway out of it. So more apparent because like there was not. Then it goes. I think the height of it. I think that they haven't been like that because it got the trees are swaying too. You can see more. You can see more sway out of the trees. Where'd it go? Double tap to run. Find a field. That should like so. That's the end result that it's like I mean that's not too bad for maybe a little too much because the trees are growing too. I think you can see the trees. The tops and the leaves. Well, you got oh dude, but yeah, like I said, I never did Unity justice, and I I put it in there like I have like issues like I'm like can I do stuff all impromptu and like looking stuff up or learning or trying to do stuff. It's not the fact that like I've been messing with shaders since 2009. Well, this type of shader set up since 2009 or 2000, yeah, 2010. Like it's not a. I've been studying shaders and stuff since about and messing with them. since I went to school, got my first book from Unreal, I dove right into the shader, and started making textures and materials. Was the first thing I wanted to try to get a handle on, and but not saying I'm an expert at it, but some of it's trial and error. If you study stuff, and it's mostly vertices, and then vectors. Everything the vertices of a vector, or some sort of a little bit of math. It's not the hard part is actually shader. You actually decide the shader code. That's a lot more math involved with it. But you got on the vertex shader side of it, we got a position, and they select them between two positions. It's actually no, this part's selecting between two positions. Oh no, this is lerping between two positions because because I have it for if it's a plant, it's got the vertex action. If it's not, it's got the it's just stationary. Start over here with time, and you got two vectors. You multiply one vector, which is what's right here. I don't got no, I have nothing because that's the first. That's gonna be your still, and then I got the sway on the second vector, and it's going left and right on the X. It's like if I'm only going up and down, be going up and down. I'd have positive. I'd have to make going to Y, but on the X, because you got X and Y to manipulate when it comes to when it comes to your UVs, and that's it. And it's going. This is basically going through using a UV system in the models X and Y to really come up with the motion. So it's swaying between these two to get the sway motion, and this is the regular out. This is what's clamping the positions. Like this is the objects. This is object at 0, 0, 0. Then I'm going and split it into. Then just grab the Y position, and I'm altering the Z position, the X position. So why does that need telling me when I go up on Y? It's the part that's the higher up, away from the ground. It's going to be it's going to have more motion. So this black area has no motion, and this white area, this is basically like a mask. So it's masking off the model from 0 Y to going up, and then it's going. You got your the guy going into a channel mask, and then going and remap it going over here, and then going, and then it's add the motion only to the spots that are closer to the ground. Well, I adjust this and this to get it from, because sometimes the base is moving. So that's why closer to the ground, it's black. And the reason why is that this high because have the trees moving too. So it's the height of from here, but it's remapping it to have a little bit more control, or a little bit more of a control, more of a fall off on it. And this is your X going left and right. Going from one to the other. It's warping in between through time, through sign time. And coming over here, and all I worry about is X and Y. So like I break this off, I get my Y, put it in there. My X is being driven by here. So by this alert right here is driving the X position. So like if it was like if I didn't have a mask on it, a whole object would be going like this. Versus with having that mask on there, it's going like this because bottom of the model at Y because the mask is masking Y from the zero up, and the black is getting no motion, and white as it gets whiter, the the motion is being added to it. This is happening over here, and you see it in the preview. And then like I'm combining those two, combining the Y and the X to come up with the motion here, and it's adding. I have another node here which representing the object's position again. So it's going the same. So I'm making up a position over here. And feeding it. I'm also have another position that's not, I'm using the mask off the Y, and it's feeding that. And then this is like the real position. So it's adding it to the position, like the stationary position of the object, and it's adding that motion to it. Which you see this, the X, because the X is red. And it's feeding it, and like I said, if it's a plant, the plant is getting the motion. If it's not a plant, like if it's a rock or something else that's in the environment, it's not getting the motion. Then I got two UV systems set up. I do believe there should be maybe it's the wrong one. All right, this is the one that has the wrong name. So maybe that's the reason why that wasn't affecting anything. Because it should be going nuts right now. Wonder why. All right, same deal over here. It's the same thing. It's just like add another UV. You're just supposed to have a this plant, and then going down to here, saying that if it's a if it's a two UVs, has two UVs. Because that's what it's lurking between. It's lurking between the color node and a normal node. It should be just colored normal. Yeah, normal tangent and default. And then two colors getting lurked in between. And then if it has two UVs, it's adding this down here to it, adding these it's adding the other color node and the other normal node to the other UV. Because the system said this is UV1 and UV0. But I gotta do something else besides sign time on it because there's some sort of like else. As it goes, it's gonna speed up because it's not going by ticks or whatever. It's going by it's not going by game time. It's going by like I think tick time or something like that. Like it's not so it's gonna constantly get more busy as it goes. Now you see the trees moving. See the trees moving. Well, that's just a little too much. But then again, like I said, that's I don't know why that slowed down to like sometimes it's something selected it won't do. Like I said, some reason sometimes I don't know why my frame rates drop like that, but it's not like it's not normal like that. Where I got 13 frames per second when I go back to the phone problem. I mean, post processing and scanning the volumetric fog and all that stuff adds a whole bunch of like, it adds a whole bunch of processing to like to the game. Like that's post processing is that's adding more draw calls. And see, right now I'm at, even though I got all this stuff up there, I'm still at like, I mean, that's still reasonable good amount. 199, like 202 draw calls. And like, but the thing is, how many shadow casts they got? They got like, it's going to almost, look here, it's like 300 shadow casters. And I can cut that down. I didn't really optimize that far yet. Like I said, I'm getting. That's where I was getting. I got to a look, and this is where I stopped at. Where I got to where it was a look that I wanted to look at. And I got to put the volume metrics on it. I was like, okay, now I got to get it down to like I got the materials down. Now I got to go back and retopologize the trees to get less. Cause there's a lot of topology on the tree. There's a lot of geometry on the trees. If I go in, there's more geometry than I need on them. But like I said, I wanted to have where's the pointer at? If I select a tree, ooh, oh, come on, let's select a tree. When it's not letting me do it. All right. And then the character, there's like stuff, there's still topology stuff that I still got to go over. But I mean, really, I mean, it's still pretty good for a tree, I guess. I mean, it really ain't too bad, but it was a pain in the butt. Like, I mean, hand retopologized the D brush. And like, I still, well, I might not be able to get it down a little bit more than that, but like, it's the, see, there you go, they're moving now. You see the trees moving. I gotta go to the import one. Well, I mean, it's not really too bad. It's only 1,637 triangles, so I guess, I mean, for trees, and like I really, I mean, for the stylized way to get it, the way I did it, got 16, 1,000. I don't think I don't have to worry about it, but I got a ton of trees. Like there's this is the scene. with just the trees, like, and that's going on. It's rendering all that right now because I ain't got a. Well, it's not. See, that's the part of the LOD system. I really could do more than that with the LODs, and that's the detail meshes coming in. So I mean, it's a very populated scene. It's not like it's no chump change stuff, and this is just one. This is on one grid plane. I do got a cheap water plane going on too. So there's a water shader, a cheap water shader, but like it's not as But like yeah, like I said, I never do Unity any justice, and like I never like I'm not trying. I'm still trying to keep it disguised on this because I'm not trying to give it the daylight look. Because the daylight look, you know, trying to keep it in disguise. The daylight look. But I like it the way it looks. Like I like the nighttime, and then like it's the whole thing to have it go out with like a system, like you the way the story is being told, or it's not the I haven't I haven't got into the story because I'm not trying to like, and then it's not like I'm trying to make a story because the story's not. I'm trying to focus more on gameplay than the story because I'm not trying to make a story that offends somebody. So if I keep the story, around, simple, we keep the game around gameplay and not worry about story or introducing new ideas, new concepts, or religions or that anything like that. Have to tackle worry about getting sued because the kid now believes something that or somebody does something stupid because of my video game. That's the yeah. So story, I'm making it about gameplay. Like there's a lot of like I said, people miss out on the whole video game aspect about things sometimes, and like I'm just trying to like I said, but even with this, I'm trying to make like I said, I'm trying to make money and I try to like really get a get rich or like try to make it into a business or like working with it and working with other people. But that's the that's this bill. Like I said, at the come back and start really this whole thing was about this whole shader thing because I didn't want to like have the whole old shader. Like I said, that was all built for that was in a way older version of Unity, and then you couldn't use it. There was no detail. There was no detail material that you can use back then. But now there is, you don't need to use, you don't have to have, you know, you don't have to have, you don't have to have, entities to get a lush environment. Like that's a pretty much lush environment. That's a lush environment. That's a pretty lush environment. I would think that's a pretty lush environment. Like I said, that's the reason why, like, I keep on going back and I'm not like, not having, you know, cause go back because everything I do, I don't rehearse anything. It's all that's it's you getting chopped and you getting raw, full on adulterated meat when these not unrehearsed. So that should say something because this is like unrehearsed. I watch my mouth pretty good. I'm like because I really do not talk. Like there's people can say what they want to say. I really the only what I do. If I'm out there looking for something, it's a good reason. I don't mess around with people. Uh, thanks for checking out the videos. Like I got some. I had something else. Uh, Give them late. Merry Christmas if y'all, if you believe in so or not. If not, happy holidays, happy whichever you celebrate, happy if you don't celebrate. Whatever you do, just do it right and have fun doing it and be safe. Thanks for checking out the work and have a good day.